Hello, and welcome back to the Colloquial Kitchen. Tonight, we're going to talk about knives. Now, I have talked about selecting a chef's knife, and I've talked about some knife techniques, which has been my most popular video so far, so thank you very much. So, when you watch videos, you're going to see this. This is the chef's knife. This is the favored knife of chefs. And I watch them use this, often doing things that it's not the best knife for. Okay? So today, this is a boning knife. This is a knife used by meat cutters primarily. And it is a much thinner blade, okay, more pointy, shorter, and it's designed for cutting the bones out of meat. It, with this very narrow, this thin profile, you can get in and around things. Okay? With this smaller point, you can pierce and get under things. So I have a couple of chicken leg quarters that I'm going to bone out, and I'll show you how this works. Now, I am not an expert butcher. I apprenticed with a butcher for about 2 years. I learned a little bit, but I make absolutely no claims at being an expert. But this is something that you probably will not see on, I don't think, any cooking channel that I'm aware of. Maybe they're out there, maybe not. So let me get the chicken, set up the cutting board, and show you how a few things are done. All right, so I have here 2 chicken leg quarters, skin on, bone in. First thing I'm going to do, take this and crack it back. Okay. I can get my thumb under that skin and just peel it off, and that goes into your stock bucket. Okay. Now, here's the boning knife comes in. There's a joint in here, and by cracking it back, you have opened that up. Okay? And feel for where it is. And it takes a little practice. I haven't done this in a while. You get in there, and you get between the joint. So I'm going to just cut that off there. Where are you? See, it's not always easy. Right into, there we go. Okay. So that's that joint. There's your drumstick and your thigh. To bone out the drumstick, first I'm cutting off as much of the fat as I can. I don't like fat on my meat. I like a lean meat. So start at the bottom and just slide along the bone. Okay? Slide along the bone. Now there's a tendon in there that's going to make that difficult. So you can push underneath and slide along the bone. Push underneath, slide along the bone. Bone comes out. Now you've got, like, here's a little shard of bone based on how this has been cut. Get that point in there and work around. Now, this piece has that piece of tendon. That is not fun to eat. So, snip that off, throw it into your stock bucket. Remember the stock bucket? Keep using it. Okay? You can go, with this knife, you can go underneath this muscle sheath, this silver skin, trim it off, throw that into there. So I'm going to end up with a lot of little pieces because it's a chicken leg quarter. But I have a lot of control to go in and pull out all the parts that I don't want. All those tendons, all of the silver skin. Chicken is one of the more difficult cuts of meat or types of meat to bone out, especially the leg quarters, because there's really not a lot of meat compared to all of the other stuff. And thighs aren't too bad. Drumsticks are fiddly. You get into breasts, those are easy. Now I'm going to use my knife, let's see this here, use my knife to pick things apart. Use it like a finger. Yeah. All right, there's a joint that's, I could go in there and get more meat out, but chicken stock. Now, the thigh. Cutting the big parts of the fat off first. And then I feel that bone down in there. I'm going to trim down to the bone here. Oh, there's some bone there. Into the stock. That's meat. Now you go and you feel that bone. And slide your knife along it. Get a clean bone out of there. Let your knife go where it wants to go. It's going to say, oh, there's something there. Oh, there's another piece of the hip bone in there. I don't want that. I'm going to let my knife go where it wants to go. Let it go to the soft parts. Don't try to force it through the bone. And you'll see a lot of this cutting is that point draw cut. Cut, cut, cut. Okay. And there's a little chunk there. I'm just going to slide my knife along it. That's a good piece. This, could I get more meat off of it? Yeah. But it's going to serve me better in my stock bucket to make soup, to make stock. Cut that fat off of there. How much fat you leave on is entirely up to you. Watch out for little bone bits. They run these things through a bandsaw. They don't care where the bone is. And sliced into bits. That draw slice, use that point. That is boning a chicken leg quarter. This is what you start with. This is what you end with. Plus all of this to make stock. I'm not going to cook this tonight. I'm going to put it back in the fridge. But I think maybe tomorrow I will show you how to make some fancy French sauces. The roux, the bechamel, and the mornay. We're making mac and cheese.